Well, hello and welcome to another Faith, Philosophy and Life with me, Mr. Shelton. We're talking about war and peace and conflict at the moment, and we've been doing a few lessons with regards to warfare, drone warfare, nuclear warfare, terrorism, and so on. And what we're going to do over the next few lessons is think about the peace element, because let's be honest, peace is really important. There's no point having war if there's no end point or end goal. And ultimately, why do we have war? Well, it's hopefully to bring about some form of peace at the end of it. So I want you to think about this question. Do you think that we can really bring about a change in the world by peaceful protest? Or do we need to get violent to sort it out? Okay, let me say that again. Wrap your head around this. Do you think that we can really bring a change in the world by peaceful protest? Or do we need to actually get violent sometimes to sort it out? Have a think about that. Here's our cheesy intro sequence. Okay, so just before we zoom in much further on our lesson, I'd like you to have a quick look at these definitions. Okay, these are three key words that we are going to be thinking about during today's session: interfaith dialogue, just war, and non-violent protest. So interfaith dialogue is where people sit down from different faiths and talk to each other. Just war, as you've done previously, is a set of rules that have come up with regards to restoring justice and peace. And non-violent protest is a way of showing disapproval without causing any damage. So when I come back to those terms later, hopefully you've got an idea what I'm talking about. That's your title, so please get that written down in your books. And as always, do send your work through to your teachers, because we'd like to see what you've been up to. So our title today is Attitudes to Non-Violent Protest. And we're going to examine and evaluate the concept of non-violent protest. It's going to be good if you can explain what non-violent protest is. It's going to be great if you can give examples of a Christian who did non-violent protest, and even better if you could answer a reflection question with regards to non-violent protest as well. So our literacy skill is going to be to write in sustained English. We're going to be hopefully working together, but obviously you're going to be at home, so you won't be able to do that quite the same way, but hopefully there'll be a little bit of reflection as well. During today's lesson, we've looked at key words. We do need to look at forms of non-violent protest, look at some examples, the marketplace, and then a reflection question as well. So to start off with them, okay, these are some examples of non-violent protests. Strikes, which is where you basically refuse to go to work. You don't get paid for it, mind, but you might stand there with placards outside until things change. A peace sit-in, that's literally, Gandhi did these very well. It's basically where you sit down in a building and refuse to move. The more of you, the better. Having a banner that you hold up and with your message on. Wearing badges. Hunger strikes. Hunger strikes are often get a lot of publicity if you refuse to eat for something. It's non-violent. I mean, it might cause pain, but it technically isn't violent towards other people. Petitions, where you go around and try and get people to sign letters. Marches, boycotts, where you refuse to buy something or use a service, like for example the Rosa Parks bus boycott. Leaflets, demonstrations, writing letters of protest. All of those are examples of non-violent protest. So I think what would be, and then we've got a second bit here. Non-violent protest has been used to speak out on many issues, including the environment, human rights, and infringing against personal liberties. What I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to transform that information, to put it into your own words in just a couple of sentences. So you're going to miss some information out, but I think it's really important that you know what non-violent protest is, some examples of it, and when it's being used. So let me say that again. You're going to put it into a couple of sentences. It's really important that you know what non-violent protest is, some examples of it, and when it's being used. So pause me now while you do that, and then come back to me. Beautiful. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to ask you to do is in the description below, you'll find both a marketplace and a worksheet. I want you to start with the worksheet, please. And you'll find that there are a number of questions on there. All the information you need is on there. So read the information and then answer the questions and then come back to me when you've done that. So give yourself, I don't know, 10-15 minutes to get that done and come back to me when you're done. That's the worksheet in the description below. Pause me now. Okay, now the next thing I'd like to do again, we need to just add a bit more information to this. So again, in that link below, you'll find a description, a link, in the description to a marketplace. Click on that, and that will give you I think 4 or 5 examples of different non-violent protests that have happened. So again, maybe make a little mind map at this point, or make a few more notes about those, so you've got examples of non-violent protests and how effective they were. So pause me now while you do that. Okay, so we've got our big question here. Using violence is always wrong. What I want you to do with this one is I want you really to tie together some of the work that we've done previously and link it to what we've done this time. Okay, so using violence is always wrong. Give reasons or evidence for your answer showing that you've thought of more than one point of view. So you're going to need a paragraph for, a paragraph against, some sort of third viewpoint. It could be for or could be against again, what your opinion is. Okay, so for, against, third point, and your opinion. So you're going to give yourself 15 minutes or so to do that. This is going to be quite a lengthy piece of work. So come back to me when you've done that, and think back to all the work we've done over the past few weeks. So we said it'd be good if you could explain what non-violent protest is. Great if you give examples of a Christian who did non-violent protest. I'm sure you got that with the Martin Luther King stuff from the worksheet. And even better if you could do a reflection question on it, which is what we've just done. So to end with, I know that you really probably can't chat to anyone else if you're watching this at home, but I want you to look at those 3 words. I'd like you just to now come up with a definition of those 3 words if you can. 1 sentence for each of them. And while you're doing that, I'm going to sign off. So thanks for your time. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Wash hands. God bless you. I'll be seeing you soon for our next one.